Lesson 1. The 4 Pillars of Building Generational Wealth. The generational wealth building system they never taught you in schools. Greetings. Welcome to the first lesson in the complete generational wealth system. If you understand this lesson properly, you will never look at money in the same way again. Because wealth is not built by accident. It is not built by working hard alone. And it is certainly not built by simply earning more. Wealth is built by structure. And that structure stands on 4 pillars. Make it. Keep it. Invest it. Pass it on. That is the entire framework. Simple to hear. Difficult to live. But powerful enough to change a family's future. Most people are never taught this. They are taught how to survive. How to obey a routine. How to earn a salary. How to spend carefully. And perhaps, if life goes well, how to retire quietly. And that is not a wealth system. That is a maintenance system. It may help a person stay afloat. It rarely helps a person become truly free. And in today's world, the old formula is becoming weaker by the year. Technology is moving faster. Artificial intelligence is changing the value of human labor. Inflation keeps reducing the purchasing power of idle cash. Governments keep expanding debt. And the cost of living keeps rising faster than the comfort of ordinary income. In such a world, following outdated money rules is not merely ineffective. It can become dangerous. That is why this series begins with clarity. Not hype. Not fantasy. Not quick riches. Clarity. The first pillar is this. Make it. Before money can grow. First, it must exist. You cannot keep what you do not earn. You cannot invest what you do not control. You cannot pass on what you never built. So, the journey begins with income. But here is the first correction. You must stop thinking of income as a paycheck alone. A paycheck may support your life. But by itself, it rarely builds your freedom. To build wealth, income must eventually become more than wages. Foundation is earning. Then value. Then systems. Then ownership. The second pillar is keep it. This is where many people fail. They earn more. But they do not become wealthy. Why? Because every increase in their income is followed by an increase in their lifestyle. A better month brings a better appetite. A bigger contract brings bigger spending. A raise brings new comfort. A bonus disappears into looking rich. That is not progress. That is leakage. If money enters your life and immediately leaves your life, you are not building wealth. You are only managing movement. The gap between what comes in and what stays with you is where wealth begins to appear. That gap is sacred. Protect it, because the future is not built from what you earn. It is built from what you keep available for your freedom from wants. The third pillar is invest it. Money that is only stored eventually becomes weaker. Money that is directed wisely becomes stronger. This is the difference between saving and building. Saving creates breathing room. Investing creates expansion. When money is placed into productive assets, it begins to work. And that is the real turning point. A person who works for money can survive. A person whose money begins to work has started crossing into another category. This is where compounding enters. Quietly at first. Almost invisibly. For a long time. It may not look dramatic. But the early phase of real wealth is often unimpressive to the eye. Effort spare for investment is repetitive. Disciplined. Sometimes boring. That is exactly why most people quit too early. They want visible success. Before invisible foundations are complete. But wealth does not reward impatience. It rewards structure, consistency, restraint. and time. Then comes the fourth pillar. Pass it on. This is where real wealth separates itself from temporary success. This is where generational wealth is built. A person can earn well. A person can even save and accumulate a great deal. But if everything depends on that one person, then the system is still fragile. True wealth must be able to survive the builder. That means more than leaving behind the money only. It means leaving behind habits, judgment, financial discipline, family standards, pride of ownership, and a culture in the family that knows how to protect what was built. Because money without wisdom is often a guest. And inheritance without preparation can become destruction. The goal is not merely to die with good balance sheet. The goal is to create a structure that continues to protect, produce, and expand, even after you are no longer there. That is why these four pillars must stay in order. Make it. Keep it. Invest it. Pass it on. Each one supports the next. If you desire to keep without earning it, you are only wishful. If you try to invest without having saved and kept, you don't have means. If you try to pass on wealth you never truly built, you pass on nothing. If you try to skip the making phase, you begin with illusion. This is not a menu. It is a sequence. And every broken sequence creates cracks. Now here is the deeper truth. The information itself is not mysterious. In fact, the framework is simple enough for almost anyone to understand. But what is rare is discipline. Not intelligence. Not talent. Not connections. Not luck. Discipline, discipline, and discipline. The discipline to live below impulse. The discipline to build before showing. The discipline to delay comfort. The discipline to protect surplus. The discipline to stay in the game long enough for compounding to begin. That is the real filter. This series is built on that understanding. We are not here to chase excitement. We are here to build a system. A system that can start from modest means. A system that can grow in stages. A system that can be understood by ordinary people. And a system that, if followed seriously, can change the financial direction of a life. So, remember the framework. Not as a slogan, but as a structure. Make it. Keep it. Invest it. Pass it on. That is the map. Thank you. In the next lesson, we will talk about the first financial threshold. The point where survival begins to loosen its grip, and real financial thinking becomes possible. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Stay blessed.